Everybody, I bring you here today because I want to tell you a story about fortitude. Fortitude's not a word that we hear a lot in today's world. You might not even know what it means. Fortitude is defined as mental and emotional strength during adversity. Maybe it's cliche, but I think the best example of fortitude that I can give to you is the story of my mom. The woman I call my mother is not the woman who gave birth to me. My mother is actually my grandmother, and her daughter is my biological mother. So what's so special about that, right? It happens all the time. My mom, or my grandmother, here on referred to as Mama, has faced many hardships and challenges, and she's faced it with unwavering courage and strength. Her grace has been unshakable, and she's faced challenges that I don't know if I could survive. So let's see what we can learn from her story. To go to the beginning, Mama was a military child from birth. She was shuffled between states and nations all over the world, and as many of you might know, being a military child isn't easy. You have new schools and new friends, and those present challenges of their own. So from a young age, Mama's learned how to face problems as they come. As she grew and came home to the States, her mother, during her teenage years, was diagnosed with cancer. At the young age of 16, my mom lost her mother to cancer, which is a challenge that no teenage girl should ever have to face. It's hard enough for adults. She faced that challenge and through the help of her family, learned to survive and to do so with grace and courage. Her first challenge and second challenge is the fortitude. She grew up and served in the United States Air Force until she met her first husband, got married, and became pregnant with her daughter, my birth mother. After my birth mother was born, she traveled around the world with her husband as a military wife, which some of you may also know has its own challenges. She went to countries such as Japan and England, leaving her family at home, aside from her husband and daughter. That in itself, you have no support system other than a select group of people. It was almost like her childhood, having to find new groups of people to be around and new lifestyles to live. But again, she faced it with strength and courage. As trouble always does, it came back around, and she eventually divorced her first husband. She came home to the United States with a young child in tow and raised her daughter as a single mom. Years passed, my birth mother grew up and got married to a Marine and had me. Tragedy struck again. Trouble always comes around. And Mama watched her now son-in-law be murdered, and her daughter no longer wanted to take care of her newborn. Mama faced this challenge with grace and courage and strength. Yet again, fortitude. She was at the point in her life where she easily could have chose a path. She didn't have to take care of me. But from birth, she took me in. 2 years later, she obtained custody of me and has raised me ever since. She could have chosen another path. It would have been easy. She did not have to take on a newborn, but she faced another problem with fortitude. The theme of her life story. Her strength and grace continued. Now that I've grown up, less than a year ago, Mama's second husband passed away. He passed away less than a month after the death of Mama's brother. She faced both of these heartbreaks with faith and strength that is almost unexplainable. So what can we learn from all of this? If a simple woman from a small town can face all of these challenges with such fortitude, what example can we pull from that? Those of us in this class, in college, are all trying to better ourselves. Some of us are just out of high school. Some of us are returning to school to pursue advanced degrees or just a degree. Some of us have full-time jobs, part-time jobs. We have children or older parents that we need to care for. And some days, it just seems like way too much. It would be easy to say, I can't do this, and quit. I believe that the example of fortitude in my mom's story can show us that if a woman from humble beginnings can face all of these challenges through all of her life and come out of it as a successful woman with a story to tell and an example to show, and come out of it as one of the strongest women I've ever met, and even some of her friends, because, of course I'm a little biased, we can take that and turn it to us and really realize that we can jump any hurdle that is in our way. These problems will come. Trouble always wins out. And good and bad, not everything lasts except for trouble. Trouble always comes. Problems always come. And I'm sure you can pull people from your own lives that have practiced this kind of fortitude. If they can do it, so can we. They're an example to live by. To not let problems defeat us. That progress is always possible. As a personal example, my first taste of independence, immediately after high school, I went to university on my 18th birthday. 2 weeks after I got there, I was so homesick I wanted to quit. It didn't matter that I had got there, everything I had accomplished. I wanted to come home. I didn't want to do it anymore. Mama convinced me not to quit. Just find another way. That things aren't always going to work out the first time around, but that doesn't mean you can give up. She taught me that there is a possible way to do things. So, I finished the semester and I came home at the end and went to a school closer to home after Christmas. Since then, I've graduated and I work as a full-time registered nurse. I have a toddler and I'm going back to school. Moving out of Mama's house after college and getting married and everything became my own responsibility was daunting. But yet again, she taught me to face problems as they come, that you can't let them overwhelm you, or you won't win, you won't succeed. She's taught me to believe in myself, but through her examples of fortitude. In closing, Michelle Obama, our First Lady, said, and I quote, "Whether you come from a council estate or a country estate, your success will be determined by your own confidence and fortitude." This is a really strong statement from a strong woman. Regardless of your political beliefs, we can tie this back to us and my mom's story. Mama came from humble roots, a country estate. She grew strong wings that are stamped with fortitude. Those wings have carried her all over the world and back to teach me and those around her and those around me how to live gracefully and never let problems hold us back. We can carry this example of fortitude into our futures, then we can all succeed. Thank you for listening.